A very good evening. Welcome to State of Business on our television. I'm Ashington Veerasinghe. Let's have a look at the headlines for today. 34th CEO Network Forum by Art Television was held in Colombo, and integrity in the businesses field is highlighted. Lapses in the constitution and election law are hurdles to creating a virtuous society, President Maithripala Sirisena stresses. News in detail. CEO Network, a monthly gathering point for the chief executive officers and senior managers of the Sri Lanka's pioneering business ventures, as organized by Art Television together with Macquarie Group, was held this morning in Colombo. Chief Executive Officer of Chartered Institute for Securities and Investment, Simon Culhane, was the guest speaker at this forum. The 34th CEO Network Forum is hosted by Sri Lanka's one of the premier TV channels, Art Television, together with Macquarie Group. The CEO Network is a platform for networking and the exchange of thoughts on prevailing issues in the corporate world in the country. Chief Executive Officer of Chartered Institute for Securities and Investment, Simon Culhane, delivered the guest lecture today under the topic of integrity at work in financial services.
Integrity really is four parts. It's honesty, openness, transparency and fairness. Now fairness is a really important fast runner. These days fairness might even be trumping honesty. If you're not got all those four, and you can use the mnemonic hot F, if you're not using those 4 points about what is integrity, that's really to us a fairly key point. So you can actually use it and say, how do things match up against that? Technology, we know, enjoys quite a good press. Well, until recently. Look at the Facebook, look at the Amazon, the Google, all the technology elements, the FANGs are now getting a lot more scrutiny. I'm very surprised to see that their 2019 survey has a further increase in the reputation of technology. So I think we'll look and see that. But what is much more interesting really is the slow but consistent recovery at the bottom here in the yellow for the financial sector.
President Maithripala Sirisena states that there are certain loopholes in the constitution when it comes to issues such as imposing limitations on selecting the cabinet of ministers. The head of the state made these claims addressing the national ceremony to hand over the proposed recommendations for a new ethical and political culture to all the political leaders held at the BMICH yesterday.
විශාල වශයෙන් රජයක මුදල් වියදම් කිරීම අනවශ්‍ය විදියට මුදල් වියදම් කිරීම සාමාන්‍ය ජනතාවගේ මුදල් ජනතාවට ඉසිලේ නොහැකි ආකාරයෙන් රජයන් විසින් අනවශ්‍ය දේවල් වලට වැය කිරීම කියන කරුණවලදී අද අපේ ආණ්ඩුක්‍රම ව්‍යවස්ථාවේ මම දකින ප්‍රධානම කාරණයක් තමයි අමාත්‍ය මණ්ඩලයක් පත් කිරීමේදී අමාත්‍ය මණ්ඩලය පත් කිරීමට තිබෙන සීමාවන් පිළිබඳව අඩුපාඩු අපේ රටේ සමහරලාට කැබිනට් මණ්ඩලය 50 එහා නගින වෙලවලු තියෙනවා. ඉතින් මේ වගේ දේවල් නීතියේ නැහැ ආණ්ඩුක්‍රම ව්‍යවස්ථාවේ නැහැ ඒවා සීමා කිරීම පිළිබඳව. අද උදේත් මාත් එක්ක ටිකක් මේ ගැන පොඩි වාද විවාද වුණා. මොකද රජයේ පැත්තෙන් ඉදිරිපත් කරන යෝජනාවක් മന്ത്രിවරුන්ට දෙන අතිරේක දීමනාවක් පිළිබඳව. මම කිව්වා මට කොහෙත්ම කැමති වෙන්න පුළුවන් කමක් නැහැයි කියලා.
Director General of Sri Lanka Tourism Development Authority, Upali Ratnayaka, explains how Sri Lanka has taken measures to translate its tourism to sustainable tourism through the directions of Global Sustainable Tourism Council. He voiced these opinions on sustainable tourism at the National Sustainable Tourism Certification Award Ceremony 2019 held on Monday in Battaramulla.
The government has taken a policy decision passing Sustainable Development Policy Act number 19 2017 by the Parliament and made the sustainable development as a policy of the country and the law of the country. We found the Global Sustainable Tourism Council has developed criteria in identifying, recognizing the accommodation sector and also the destination development as well as tour operations, in which they have identified the 4 main areas of management: sustainability management, socio-economic impact management, cultural impact management, environmental impact management, in which when we go into detail, what we see is the UN Sustainability Development Goal bring into practice this criteria give us a way forward or the direction. So that means by adhering to this criteria, we'll be able to take the tourism industry toward the sustainability goal achievement journey.
Addressing the same event of Sustainable Tourism Certification Award Ceremony 2019, Policy and Design Specialist of United Nations Development Programme, Taruka Disanayake mentions that there is a grave financing gap for conservation activities in Sri Lanka and that a better public budget allocation for conservation programs in the country is required.
So the Biodiversity Finance Initiative was actually all about looking at how Sri Lanka's very precious biodiversity, you all here are from the industry or associated to it, and I don't need to tell you what a precious resource we have. In the industry, you use it, you market it, but we also have actually very good initiatives to protect it from the public sector as well as sometimes funded by yourselves in the private sector. But we do have a big financing gap for conservation in this country. Our conservation needs far exceed the public budget allocated to it, and even to date sometimes we can't really account or make account of the private sector investments in biodiversity.
Stay tuned for more news after this short break. Welcome back after the break. The ICT sector has uplifted the national economy by attracting investment, earning foreign exchange, creating employment, increasing productivity and promoting innovation. This was revealed by a national workforce survey done by the Information and Communication Technology Agency of Sri Lanka and revealed by Subject Minister Ajith Perera at a media briefing held yesterday. Information and Communication Technology Agency of Sri Lanka initiated a national workforce survey launching IT Business Process Management Workforce Survey 2019 to gain a clear understanding of the extent composition of IT and BPM workforce of Sri Lanka and to weigh that against the extent of the supply of skilled personnel. According to the survey, the overall strength of the workforce has grown from 82,854 in 2014 to 124,873 in 2018, which amounts to a growth of 50.7% and is projected to leap further to 146,089 in 2019. The overall composition of the female workforce has improved from 21% in 2010, 29.7% in 2013 to 34% in 2018. It further shows that a relatively young workforce with 93% of ICT workers below 45 years and 80% of the workforce is calculated to be less than 8 years of experience. Furthermore, addressing the event, Non-Cabinet Minister of Digital Infrastructure and Information Technology, Ajith P. Perera states that surveys like IT BPM survey will bring about a drastic change in ICT and BPM sectors to identify and tackle issues to be addressed complementarily gender equality, ensuring suitable personnel to fill in vacant positions and strengthening ICT sector. Speaking at the same event, Information and Communication Technology Agency Chairman Professor Rohan Samarajiva says that good surveys always make the investment less risky. He also assured that a national workforce survey will give a clear understanding of the extent and composition of IT and BPM workforce of Sri Lanka.
There's an information asymmetry. They don't actually know whether there's a demand for a certain product or service when they make their investments. Sometimes they're right, sometimes they're wrong. That's the risk. So if we have good surveys that the government can prepare, the government or industry associations, I'll come back to that point. If they can do that, they can reduce this information problem. It makes investments less risky. Investments both from the perspective of companies in terms of committing to a particular area, whether there is enough demand in particular, or in terms of individual human beings who are committing their life, their careers, that instead of doing this field of study, I'm going to do that field of study. And if we can give them good, solid information, we will help them to make more informed decisions.
Transport and Civil Aviation Minister Arjuna Ranatunga says that the government will purchase 2,000 luxury buses as more people move towards private transport due to bad service. Addressing a media briefing at the Government Information Department yesterday, Minister Ranatunga said that he had already put a cabinet paper to call for expression of interest for 2,000 high-end luxury buses. Transport Minister Arjuna Ranatunga said that an allocation of 1.5 billion rupees for buses was done by the 2019 budget and that investment was highly needed to compete with the privately owned transport passenger services industry. Minister also highlighted that in 2018, state buses operated 446 million kilometers, down 0.8% from a year earlier, while passenger kilometers dropped 1.8% to 15.5 billion rupees. Further, Minister Ranatunga said he believed one reason people were going off buses was because they were uncomfortable and were built on truck chassis. He also raised the issue of poor road condition. However, the Transport Minister assures that the transport sector will be developed immensely with the ongoing projects such as Colombo City Railway Unit, funded by the Asian Development Bank, Kandy City Railway Project and many other developmental projects island-wide. Let's take a look at few more stories for the day in brief.
The Defence Ministry asked the public to lodge complaints regarding any forms of illegal surveillance and harassment. Therefore, if any member of the public is subjected to or is made aware of instances of intimidation, illegal surveillance of civilians, or harassment by any individual or group of persons, they are advised to use the following mechanisms to lodge a complaint with any or all of the following: National Police Commission, Hotline 1960, General Number 01151011722, Human Rights Commission of Sri Lanka, Hotline 1996, General Number 01125055575, Special Investigations Unit of the Sri Lanka Police Hotline 119. Tell IGP online complaints portal www.telligp.police.lk. Dr. Dushni Veerakone has been appointed as a member of the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka with effect from July 29 this year. Dr. Dushni Veerakone is the Executive Director of the Institute of Policy Studies of Sri Lanka and head of its macroeconomic policy research. She has extensive experience in public policy engagement and currently serves on the Trade and Productivity Commission, Ministry of Development Strategies and International Trade. The Sri Lanka Business Council in Japan, under the patronage of the Sri Lanka Embassy in Tokyo, organized the 15th version of Sri Lanka Festival from 3rd to 4th August in Yogogi Park, Tokyo. The event portrayed the potential in all aspects of Sri Lanka, enabling higher level of promotion of trading, commercial and investment activities between Sri Lanka and Japan. There were around 100 exhibitor booths presenting Sri Lankan foods, other products and services. During the opening session of the festival, Ambassador Professor Dhammika Dissanayaka highlighted the importance of this timely event to promote Sri Lanka after Easter Sunday attacks.
Stay tuned for stock updates after this short break. Welcome back after the break. Trading at Colombo Stock Exchange ended on a positive note today. The all-share price index gained 42.74 points to close at 5,889.68 and the S&P SL20 gained 38.12 points to close at 2,898.1. The turnover was 461 million rupees and over 43 million shares were traded. Up next are forex rates. That's all the news for today. Join us tomorrow at the same time. Until then, take care. Good night.